You are tuning in to a multi-platform broadcast of Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say on the air. You might be catching this on social media. You might be listening to it on 90.1 FM KPFT, Houston's community station, or you might be watching this on Fox 26 Houston.com. Really appreciate you coming to catch a special poetry spotlight of our dear friend David Romero, who joins our show once again. We want to see how he's doing. And of course, we want to hear his poem. So, first of all, hey, David, welcome back.
Hey, it's great to be back, Tony. It's great to see you this time. I think we did a phone call last time, so or
Exactly.
you are looking phenomenal. Let me say
Why,
first off.
thank you so much. Likewise. Let's trade compliments. Tú eres muy guapo. And hey, I'm Tony Diaz, el libro traficante. We're happy to bring you this because you make a great point there, David. Not only has Nuestra Palabra had to adapt from the origins of our organization back in 1998, but when we called you first, that was the first phase of the shutdown. So you weren't in the studio, and we weren't in the studio. It was a phone interview. And then in this new version, the station has sold the building where we used to broadcast from. So now we're moving and we're remote. So this is the brand new iteration. So you've been through us in
Wow.
several evolutions.
So you're evolving along with the whole media landscape here. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But continuing to provide this great programming. So I'm really glad to be with you today.
No, likewise. And what's cool is that, you know, Nuestra Palabra began in 1998 in the party hall of Chapultepec restaurant. But here we are convening with a family member out in Califa. So tell folks exactly where you're at right now.
Yeah, so I'm in the lovely city of Diamond Bar, California. We're in Los Angeles County, but we're closer to Disneyland than we are to downtown LA or Boyle Heights or East LA. And yeah, but Snoop Dogg lives here, so
Right.
at least we have that.
Very cool. And congratulations on all the success on your book, on all the readings that you've done, all the outreach that you've done. What's been going on since we chatted with you last?
Yeah, so most recently, what's been going on is I just awarded my 5th endowment of my scholarship. I have a yearly scholarship, the Romero Scholarship for Excellence in Spoken Word. This year's scholarship was $1,000 that went to the Youth Poet Laureate of Philadelphia, Sydney Brown. So it was really my honor, my pleasure to award her. I was just stunned when she even applied. I've been working really hard to get the scholarship both out locally, but also to, all of the states, and the territories as well. This year, I was really excited to receive applications from Puerto Rico as well. So that was really beautiful to see. And it just shows that the word of the scholarship is spreading. And so, yeah, it's very, very exciting. Sydney Brown is a phenomenal poet. And she's also a Girl Scout, so she's hustling those Girl Scout cookies. So, if you need some of those sweet tagalongs in your life, hit her up.
That's fantastic. You know what, though? We're going to have to get to some of your poems because at the end of the day, you are changing the world through your poetry. But I do love that you are giving back. I really respect that. But I want people to appreciate that takes time and energy. And there's other communities where folks are just creating art for art's sake, where they are in their ivory tower creating their own work. You are giving back. It takes capital, time, energy. So first of all, congratulations on that. And we want to help. So next go round, please let us know. We'd love to announce that the applications are open, put it in our email blast. Get that word out as well. So because that's so fantastic that you do that. I really admire that.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead as requested and perform a poem. So this poem is inspired by Undocu Queer activist Isaac Barrera. I met him at Community Arts and Action Center, Corazon del Pueblo in Boyle Heights, Los Angeles. And he was speaking to his experiences as a running back at Belmont High School, for which he always wants everyone to know that, as far as I know, he still holds a record for the school. But he was talking about his experiences, and I was inspired by them to write this poem, Undocumented Football. When life throws everything at you, don't drop the ball. Don't drop the ball. Blue 42, set, hike. A brown quarterback's fingers tighten around the white laces of a football. Roosevelt versus Garfield, they meet today upon an annual battleground where local legends spell rivalry in defensive and offensive formations upon this old field in this dirty stadium. Football sounds a lot like Boyle Heights, like East LA, like years of pride and history. Sounds like Roosevelt is in motion. Number 42, Miguel is with them, crossing the line of scrimmage, clad in red and yellow. His muscles tell a story. Miguel has always been running from La Migra, Las Placas. Everyone who wants to stop him, ask him, ¿Dónde están los papeles? Where are your papers? Miguel's too fast, though. How fast? Too fast. Too fast for borders, laws, checkpoints, dogs. Too fast for fences, ditches, detention centers, and walls. Definitely too fast for the fool. Unfortunate enough to be D'ing up on him now. Through it all, under the glare of stadium lights, past the cheering, booing, chanting, and screaming, through a maze of players like a beam of holy light, Miguel's vision is clear. He loves this game. It gives him focus, gave him purpose. Miguel will be defined by this moment. He knows this. No college will recruit him. His record doesn't really scream draft pick, but that's not the issue. Miguel never cared for politics. He just loved his coach, his team, this American game of football, his dream to make a catch in the only important game that he could. Miguel will not score the winning touchdown. This game will be added to a losing record that will make for a losing season. There's so many reasons for Miguel to drop the ball. Walk out of the stadium, just another statistic. Undocumented student, faceless, immigrant. There's so many reasons for Miguel to drop the ball. So as it spirals towards him, carrying the weight of a future infallible, he repeats to himself like a prayer, don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball. So he catches it, like how he catches his diploma, like how he catches his degree, like how he catches the hand of his high school sweetheart, and they cross the threshold of that goal line together. He cradles the ball in his arms like his son John, firstborn legal, firstborn free to pursue his dreams and not always be running. So damn hard. This is just one story from the East LA Classic. Roosevelt versus Garfield, just one game for Miguel of undocumented football.
Man, powerful piece. And you know what's great to hear you read it too, because your work stands up on the page, but also you're such a fantastic reader as well. So thank you for treating us with that.
Oh, thank you, Tony. It comes with over a decade of practice now, and it's really an honor to be able to perform it, in spaces such as these.
Appreciate that. And one I want to point out too, of course, your collection of poetry that we first had you on the show for, My Name Is Romero, is a powerful work on of its own. This seems to be another set of work. Is it part of its own book? Is it part of a different series of poems?
Oh no, I'm a song and dance man, Tony. I got to play all the hits. I got to. So this is So this is from My Name Is Romero as well. I've been steady on the grind. This is it came out in 2020 with FlowerSong Press, but I've been working hard to get this into over 50 bookstores. It's also sold by retailers in New Zealand, Japan, Russia, Moldova, just Switzerland, just all over the world. So I've been really, really hard. I really, truly believe that, this is my legacy, my life's work. And I am also working on a number of projects. I've got an upcoming book about my hometown, Diamond Bar. I also wrote a murder mystery novel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you know, there are layers to come. There are layers to come. But yeah, most of what I've been reading has been from this one.
I love it. And I do want to let folks know, too, that I'm the literary curator for the Latino bookstore in San Antonio. We carry your book. You're part of our California Affirmative Action Program, okay? Because tenemos un montón de Tejanos, because we're in Texas, but we got to show love to our California brothers and sisters. We have several FlowerSong Press books there, and of course, people love your book. So people can find it at the Latino bookstore in San Antonio, Texas, 1300 Guadalupe, across the street from the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Theater. So one day we got to get you and the other compañeros out there as well down the line. And then we perform
I'd love that. Yeah, we definitely got to make that happen. Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
Too cool. Well, I tell you what, I mean, I could talk to you for hours, but I want people to hear more of your poems. Give us another piece, set it up, and tell us a little bit about it before you throw down with it.
Yeah, of course. So this next poem, I know you're you know, you and I both share a heart for the political, for the at times confrontational, controversial. So this poem is one of the most political pieces in the book. My Name is Romero, and it's called Patriots and Lunatics. And this poem, it touches upon the history of the Minutemen, both the core group as well as the splinter groups that were associated with the movement. It also mentions the murder of Briseña Flores some time ago, and it draws parallels between that and a general a patriotism that's invoked whenever you know we call to defense ourselves, our people, and our plight. People invoke in response a kind of patriotism, and it is an unveiling of what that patriotism often truly stands for. This poem is called Patriots and Lunatics. It would be a disservice to give self-appointed patriots dirt and grit, stars and stripes, red-blooded Americans the title lunatic, except when it fits them as comfortably as orange jumpsuits or pine box coffins. Chris Simcox was a man with an American dream. Move out to the Southwest, grab some guns, take a last stand like Wyatt Earp at the OK Corral, shoot it out until the bitter end. Aside from the usual delusions of grandeur, Chris Simcox, co-founder of the Minutemen, harbored a much darker secret. At night, we arrive. Never me, not I. I've never been there when we cross from Sonora to Arizona, Chihuahua to Tejas, but I know it. Not the types to be intimidated by a line on a map, a line in the sand, or a river. I picture them emerging from the water indignant, clothes soaked, wet shirts and blouses over wetbacks. They call them wetbacks, as if somehow the strength in them to carry adversity would be grounds for anything derogatory. You should add alert eyes, calloused hands, muscled torsos, sun-hardened skin, dehydrated and tired but still running legs to that long list of epithets. Wetback is just another word for survivor. There were no survivors. Home massacre. Jason J.T. Reddy, neo-Nazi, former member of the Minutemen, put a gun to his head, but not before murdering his girlfriend, her daughter's boyfriend, and their child. Briseña Flores was 9 years old when she was murdered by the Minutemen. Shauna Ford, Jason Eugene Bush, Albert Gaxiola, 2 Minutemen and their guide crept into the Flores house under the cover of night looking for drugs. They didn't find any. So they shot Brisenia, her mother, and her father, stole their jewelry, rode back to their hideout, didn't make out with much, not enough to cover the cost of a new headquarters. See, these vigilantes had a patriotic plan. They were going to rob them some Mexicans to fund the training and arming of more Minutemen, because it's Mexicans who are the dangerous ones, right? Chris Simcox, co-founder of the Minutemen, has a problem, has a disease. This defender of American values and American children couldn't stop himself from touching them. 3 girls under the age of 10, 5 counts of pedophilia, including acts perpetrated against his own daughter. I am glad that our borders are kept safe by patriots and lunatics, dead or locked up for now, while more cowboys, vigilantes, neo-Nazis, pedophiles, murderers, and Minutemen ride off into the sunset. They ride with blood on their hands, waiting for us to finally bury them.
Powerful. And you're bringing up a lot of the history that's swept under the rug, because like you say, we really think that political poetry, prose is vital to our society, to our culture. You're touching on some organizations that were making national news,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden swept under the rug, but they committed all these atrocities. So powerful work on the page, but you're also touching on making sure that there's a testament to all this that happened.
Yeah. I think so often that gets lost in the dialogue. So often, and I really learned this from Matt Cedillo. So often, these forces are constantly trying to put us on the defensive. They're constantly trying to make us validate ourselves, explain ourselves. Whereas these people are some of the most vile perpetrators, some of the most vile criminals, and to really think about that. Think about, why these people are attacking children, mothers, fathers, workers, people trying to make a living crossing the border. What would guide people to do those kinds of things? And very often it is some of the most disgusting impulses and some of those most heinous crimes that can be committed. So I think it's really important that we don't lose sight of that, and to be very cognizant of the active forces that are out there working to oppress our people and to hide their true face and their true nature, and build platforms to the greatest heights of political power in the nation.
And the Texas Minutemen were basically standard national news for a while. That has passed, but these same attacks in our community have just morphed into other things. So it's powerful to hear your piece and to hear you perform it, because then it reminds us that the details change, the players change,
Right.
but this attack does not.
Yeah, and one last thing that I want to touch upon this, and I might have said this before, but it bears repeating, is that we see all of this activity leading up to the presidency of Donald Trump. That's a lot of this is what made that possible. When Donald Trump, announced his campaign, he announced it on the platform of building the wall, of Mexicans are criminals, drug dealers, and rapists. And he went on to attack all of the usual suspects, to target all of the other, marginalized, oppressed communities out there. But the fact that we were the primary focus, the primary target at the onset of that, shows you a lot about the change of American politics, that the politics, the climate of the Southwest was elevated to that national stage.
That's a great point. And I think it helps. This work helps kind of fill in the cracks that maybe historians can't tackle. Well, academics can't now, because who knows when people are going to be watching or hearing this, but now this attack on critical race theory seems to be trying to now morph that attack and silence more people so that it makes it even harder for this information to be disseminated. So that really is important work that you're doing in a creative way. But just mind blowing to remember the scale and the persistence of this. So thank you for chronicling that in a powerful way.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Well, I tell you what, I do want to mention that we are celebrating our friendship with David Romero. He's back on the show. Great to have you back here. And I could just go on chatting with you about politics and poetry, but I want to celebrate the poem. So I do want to mention that you are experiencing Nuestra Palabra, Latino Writers Having Their Say. It's a multi-platform broadcast on social media. You can also listen to it at 90.1 FM KPFT, Houston's community station. And you can also watch it on fox26houston.com. And we are also we are committed to mentioning your book. My Name is Romero. So these are pieces from that piece. If you could give us one more poem, please, before we close out. And again, mention the name of the book again. Please set it up and then give us the title and then thrill us, brother.
All right, Tony. So after all of that doom and gloom, I'm going to go out with your viewers on a lighter note. So this is the signature piece from My Name is Romero, and let it be said that this piece typically contains a bit of cursing, but for our fair listeners, we'll cut that out. But here it goes. True story. It happens every single night. Telemarketing Juliets, calling from their ivy-covered balconies, calling for their star-crossed lovers, calling, "Hello, is Mr. Romeo in?" "I'm sorry, Romeo went to go grab a burrito, Mercutio to cruise Whittier Boulevard, and Shakespeare to take some ethnic studies classes. In other words, Romeo isn't in. My name is Romero. I am not Italian. Centuries-old Spanish blood coursing through these veins, though my parents are not from Spain. And despite the Southern Californian accent, louds words like dude, sweet, and sick to tumble gracefully from these lips. I'm not a white guy. I'm a Mexican. My name is Romero. Romero like a brand of tortillas that escaped with Guerrero and Mission from the segregation of the ethnic food section into the main aisles of your local supermarket. My name is Romero. Romero like Archbishop Oscar Romero, zombie filmmaker George A. Romero, actor Cesar Romero, yes, before Jack Nicholson, before Heath Ledger, a brown man played the Joker. They dressed him up in purple suit, green wig, and white face, but he would not shave his trademark suave and sexy Latin mustache. No, he was a Romero. I am a Romero. My parents had dark hair and dark eyes. When I was 7, my brother lied. Told me that my father was the mailman. How could you be the son of our parents with your blue eyes and white skin? Well, brother, like Jerry Springer or Maori, the DNA results are in. I am a Romero, and I know what some of you are thinking, that I'm just another white guy trying to prove he's a Latino, or just another Mexican chest beating his chest, beating whatever reputation he has left in the process, trying to convince you that his family, his country, his nationality are better than you. Well, I know as well as anyone that we are all the children of Africa, roots of no single family tree, but of a flourishing forest that grows collectively towards a magnificent destiny, shining, radiating beauty. Just please, close your eyes, and you can see it. But forget that. The name of this poem isn't "We Are the World." We are the children. No, the name of this poem is My Name is Romero, because if you're not proud of who you are, then what are you going to be proud of? And if you don't know where you come from, how are you supposed to know where you're going? And I know one thing, that the name of my father and my father's father and his father's father before him was Romero. Thank you very much, Tony. Nuestra Palabra.
Eso. I love it. And you bring so much energy. You got so much skill, and you're so generous with your genius. So, David, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back to Nuestra Palabra. Can't wait to hang out in person. And thanks for always giving back to the community.
Oh, yes. Let's make that happen. Yes, absolutely. Beautiful.
And we want to give a shout out to the Nuestra Palabra familia. Thank you to Roxana Guzman, who is our multi-platform producer, gets all our graphics going, gets us going on time. Also, thank you to Rodrigo Bravo Jr., our brilliant sound engineer who helps get our audio cast at 100,000 watts, and Radames Ortiz, who works our SEO, Leticia Lopez, who works on our music, and all the Libro Traficantes throughout Houston, throughout Texas, the Southwest, and the entire country. This is Tony as Libro Traficante. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting our cultura. Nos vemos.
Bye. Thank you.